Bum 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 bum. The Peter Dislike Show. Bum 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 bum. One of my favorite feel-good stories about investments and currency is the Bitcoin pizza. So back on March 22nd, 2010, which was kind of a significant time in my life as well, it was around the time that I first discovered my sexual identity. Somebody had purchased some pizza with some number of Bitcoins that are now worth hundreds of millions of dollars, apparently. I wonder who has those Bitcoins now. I don't know if it has changed hands or anything like that. And so one of my favorite things to do when I go out and eat and get really good service is to tip. You know what, right? My favorite is to tip one of these Buddhas, either out of, depending on how good of a service I get, either out of zinc, bismuth, or if I get really good service, tin, and possibly silver if I could figure out how to pour it, if I get really good service, right? And I like to think it could be our next Bitcoin Pizza Day. Well, we got next month, September 25th, is a National Food Service Employee Day. It'd be a great day to give a Bitcoin tip, right? I don't think Bitcoin has much of a future, but I had a friend who got really lucky because I often lament on how I get really shitty clients when I do tutoring work, and then I was just talking to some of my friends who have done tutoring, and he got really lucky. He was in high school, and he had tutored a family friend or somebody, and they didn't have any money to give him, so they gave him like some number of Litecoin or Dogecoin or something like that. And years later, it's worth like a few $1,000s. So he got paid like thousands of dollars for like a couple of hours of tutoring. If only I had that kind of luck with my tutoring, right? A lot of times, it's one thing if the student doesn't have the money or something, but sometimes I would just like to make connections, right? And even then, they don't want to reciprocate with that, right? So for example, I had a 70-year-old who was studying. He just wants to learn some computer skills, and he's on fixed income. Doesn't have a whole lot of money. It would be nice if he brought me a lot of connections somehow, but even that, he doesn't want to do that. So I ended up having to get rid of him. He had some other interesting life events going on anyhow, so I had to get rid of him. But I just don't have that kind of charm in me to get like a couple Litecoin or whatever it was, right? Anyway, so now that wasn't the only event. I love having these anchor points, like this employee day. I'm gonna have to think about what I'm gonna. I hope to pour one of those Buddhas out of silver. It would be about 7-10 ounces of silver. It'd be a perfect tip for somebody who really earns it, right? And so it could be worth a whole lot more in the future and more recognizable, right? Most people would think a bismuth tip is just laughable. Right, they don't recognize what it is, right? Silver, I think, is much more universal for that kind of stuff. I saw two words on the news that made me reflect on my own life. Right now, as I speak, in late August of 2023, we have a little bit of a COVID uptick, and on the news, I was reading about how even though this is happening, don't worry in big letters. And it really reverberated in my head, and I'm glad it did, because something happened today where I had to think about that. I had gone to an event, and so, finding suitable food at a social event is challenging enough for me. So usually I bring my own food. I had some chocolate just like that. Now this stuff is really sticky. It sticks to the roof of your mouth. It sticks to your teeth as you're eating it. And I finally see something, and my friend had put a lot of effort into making sure he would bring food that I could eat. And all of a sudden I had a mouthful of chocolate. I couldn't get it down. I tried to take some water. And so I remember just thinking to myself, what did the news anchor say? Don't worry. I mean, I'm not starving or anything. That food's going to be there. Other people can enjoy it. It just gave me a nice, warm, fuzzy feeling. I've had times in the past where things like that have panicked me, and I have spit out my chocolate or choked or just been angry about it or anything like that. That was nice. That was nice. And then next month we have a lunar. 2 months from now we got a solar eclipse, and I'm getting really excited to go see it. I'm glad to see that. Well, first of all, I work at a place that's very accommodating, so I get those days off. I'm glad to see we have a little bit of a. We still have a labor shortage, so a lot of people will have a lot of sway to take time off to go see it. And I just hope this solar eclipse will be a good turning point for people to love nature and get rid of some of the excesses in their lives, right? So I'm calling on everybody over the next month and a half to clean out the excesses in your life. Stop drinking soda, and especially soda. And there's so much to enjoy out there. It breaks my heart. With solar eclipses, with lunar eclipses, with Bitcoin pizzas, with bismuth tips, silver as a tip, that people would kill themselves with soda. I mean, it just breaks my heart. All right, so a number of holidays coming up, and I hope we will all enjoy. I gotta figure out how to pour that silver Buddha, though. I can't wait to give a good tip. This is the Peter Dislike Show. Bum 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 bum. The Peter Dislike Show. Bum 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 bum.